Oh, okay. For volume, a rectangular prism is length times width times height. So this is the length, this is the width, and this is the height. We went over that one on our last video. So if our volume is length 6, width 3, and height 2, you just multiply all of those together. So we're going to do 6 times 3 is 18 times 2, volume equals 36. We'll say it's centimeters, and it's in units cubed. For a general prism, that's going to look kind of like a piece of cheese. Sorry, Carter, I cannot draw this. Let's see. Triangle 1, 2, 3. I did it. Okay. The volume is base times height. So if the base is 5 and the height is 8, we would do 5 times 8. Volume equals 40 centimeters cubed. For a right circular cylinder, the volume is base times height. And we'll say that the base is 5 and the height is 4. So we would do 5 times 4 equals 20 centimeters cubed. For a right pyramid, we have one-third base times height. So if my base is 7 and my height is 6, we would do 1/3 7 times 6. So 7 times 6 is 42, divided by 3. Volume equals 14 centimeters cubed. And for a right cylinder circular cone, it's 1/3 base times height. Oh, that's a bad drawing. So it starts like this. There we go. So say our base is 17 and our height is 20, then we would do 1/3 17 times 20. And Lauren, you'll probably be able to use your calculator this year on most of this stuff. Carter, you definitely will. 17 times 20 equals 340. And then we do that divided by 3. It is 113.333333. And what we are going to do is round it to the nearest tenth. So it's 113.3 centimeters cubed. Then for a sphere, its volume equals 4/3 pi radius to the 3rd power. So say we're using 3.14 for pi, and the radius is 7 cubed. So we first have to do the exponent. So we're going to do 7 times 7 times 7. This is 343. And then we do 4/3, 3.14 times 343. So I'm going to do these two, which is 343 times 3.14. That gives me 1077.02, and we're going to multiply that by 4/3. So I'm just going to do 1077.02 times 4, and then we're going to say, oh, this is over 1, that is 4,308.8 divided by 3. So the answer is 1436.026, and we're going to round that to the nearest hundredths. So it's going to be 1436.03. Okay, that is volume, and that is all that Lauren has to learn. Carter, you and I are going to do surface area next time, Lauren. You do not have to worry about surface area. And then we're just going to go over some algebra things. So order of operations. We do PEMDAS. A negative times a negative equals a positive. A negative times a positive equals a negative. A positive and a positive equal a positive. So when we are doing algebra for positive and negative numbers, it starts to get really tricky. And a few things to remember: if I have a negative sign outside of my parentheses, then this negative sign, because it's touching the parentheses, has to get distributed to here and to here. So this would make this -5 minus x. Inequalities. We would treat it just like an equal sign, but we use this sign instead. So if I did x plus 5 is greater than or equal to 250, we would solve it the same exact way. It's just we would have this. 2x is less than or equal to 25. We would solve that by dividing it both sides by 2. And instead of it being an equal sign, we would have this inequality sign. And then x over 5 is less than 20, and then x minus 5 equals is more than 25. So to solve these, we'd solve them the same exact way. Obviously, these are very simple. I just wanted to remind you about the inequalities. So x plus 5 is more than or equal to 250. We subtract 5 on both sides. This cancels each other out, and the answer is 245. So let's change these up a little bit. I'm going to put a -2x and a -25 here. So we're going to do -2x is less than or equal to -25. We divide this side by -2. We divide this side by -2. And this cancels each other out. And then 2 divided by 25 equals 12.5. Now, the inequality sign is going to change directions. Hopefully you remember learning that. So when does an inequality sign flip? So we solve inequalities anytime you multiply or divide both sides of the inequality. So if we have a negative number, like we have on this one, it is going to flip to the other way. So instead of it being like this, it's going to be like this. It only happens when we have a negative on one side that is connected. So if I had negative x plus 3 is more than 12, then I would subtract 3 on both sides, and I would get negative x is greater than 9. So to get this negative here, we have to bring it over, and we have to also flip, and it becomes x is less than negative 9. If we have something that looks like this, negative 2x plus 4 is greater than or equal to negative 6, then we're going to do negative 4 minus 4 minus 4. Negative 2x is greater than or equal to negative 10. And then I'm going to multiply. They're multiplying by negative 2, so I'm going to divide by negative 2. And this would be x is like this, but we know since we did a negative, we're going to flip it to the other way. And a negative divided by a negative equals a positive. So it's x is greater than 5. Okay, we are going to do a few of the problems. So if you have a general prism, a rectangular prism, a right cylinder, circular, I keep saying cylinder, and a right pyramid. For the general prism, I'm going to give you a few problems. The base and the height. So the base is going to be 7 and the height is going to be 9. The base is going to be 8 and the height is going to be 6. For the rectangular prism, the length is going to be 9, the width is going to be 5, and the height is going to be 3. So you'll find the formula, plug it in, and then we'll do length equals 8, width equals 6, height equals 5. And then the right circular cylinder will do base is 5, height is 7, base is 6, height is 8. And then the right pyramid is going to be base of 7, height of 6, base of 18, height is 16. So you can do those ones for homework. See how it goes. All right, we have a few vocabulary things to remember. You can get Lauren back for this. She can learn this as well. So you can pause the video, go get Miss Lauren. Okay, so this is called a point. This is called a ray. This is called a line segment. And this is called a line. So a point is going to tell you where you are on a graph or where you are on a number line. It's just a dot. Array has one endpoint and then one point goes on forever. And I remember this by my friend Ray walks in one direction. So this goes on in one direction and it has an endpoint right here. A line goes on in both directions, and then a line segment stops. So it has two stop points, one at one side and one at the other. And in geometry, two lines that do not cross like this are called parallel lines, and this is called a perpendicular set of lines. So this one does cross at a 90-degree angle, and a 90-degree angle is only one measurement. It's exactly 90 degrees and it looks like an L. It's a perfectly shaped L. A circle is 360 degrees. So we have a 90-degree angle called a right angle. Then we have a 360-degree angle. That's a circle. We have a straight line, which actually I did not make straight, so let me do that. Keep breaking my pencil. And this is exactly 180 degrees, and it is called a line or a straight angle. So that is some vocabulary to get you started. And if you have a line that is over, this would be 90 degrees right here. So this is obviously bigger than 90 degrees. So anything from 91 to 179 degrees, because we know 180 turns into a straight angle. This is called an obtuse angle, and it means that it has a measurement of 91 degrees all the way to 179. And then an acute angle, I remember it as, oh look, it's so cute. It is 1 degree all the way up to 89 degrees. So if it's smaller than an L, here's our L, that's our right angle, and it's any bit smaller. It could be like this, it could be like this, it could be an angle like this. This is an acute angle that says that it is under 90 degrees. Okay, so we have done area and perimeter and volume, and we started our vocabulary. So I think that is probably good. I want you guys to watch this, and we can go on to the next section after when I see you again. I don't want to go into surface area yet, and then if I go into the angles of traversals and all of those things, it's going to be too confusing. I need you and I together. And then Lauren, this will be good for you. Just practice these vocabulary words, and Carter, we will go on with some more geometry next time. Okay, bye guys.